Hi there guys, and welcome to this video. All my subscribers and everybody that has been following my journey, thank you very much. And I told you guys that I was going to share with you my birth story, and yeah, this is the moment. I think let's start from the beginning. So 40 weeks, I would suggest that you post this video and get something to drink or something to eat, because I think it's gonna be a long video. It's going to be a long story because I want to tell you guys every little thing. Like, I want to share with you guys everything that happened. So 40 weeks, yeah, my 40th week was like on the 21st of June, and then it came and it went. The day that they say that you might give birth is not really the actual date, because you can either give birth earlier or later. So that day there was no sign of baby coming. There was and the next day and the next day, and then on Friday, like 5 days later, I had an appointment at my midwife, and she was like going to check if there was like an opening. She was going to go down there with a finger and try to see if there is an opening at the uterus. And yeah, when she checked, she said, okay, now I don't feel anything. I think there is no opening, so there is no sign at all. But sometimes there is no opening, but still, like, it just starts, like the baby can come anytime anyway. So that shouldn't be a problem. That there is no opening, it should not be a problem. So but then she advised, she told me, like, if you want, we can make an appointment for Monday at the hospital. If the baby is not yet there, we can make an appointment. If the baby doesn't come in the weekend, we can now, like today, make an appointment that on Monday you go to the hospital, that you can get induced. So she sent them an email, and immediately from the hospital I got an email that they've got my request from my midwife, and that they were going to call me for an appointment. So that afternoon they called me and they were like, you can come in like on Monday morning, so that we can see what to do if the baby isn't there yet. So maybe I would get induced, or maybe we would make an appointment for me to get induced or something like that. So that Sunday morning at around 4, let's just say it was around 4:30 in the morning, I felt really a lot of pressure. I wasn't in pain, but I felt really a lot of pressure, and I also felt like going to the toilet, so I went to pee. But this time there was a different feeling. I was like, oh, the baby is pushing so much than before. So I walked to the toilet like a grandma, and I came back and I went to lie on bed, just normal. I've been to the toilet, I'm going to lay down. 2 minutes later, I felt really so much pain, and I thought, okay, I think these are the contractions. I think so. So I woke up my husband. I was like, hey, lieverd, volgens mij is het begonnen. I think it has started. My contractions started really fast and really hard and really painful. It was like 1 minute of contractions, and then 3 minutes of pause, of break. Almost 2 hours later, we called my midwife, and then we said, okay, now the party has started here in our house. And she said, okay, I will come as soon as possible. Just continue, like let the pain come. That is a good sign. It means the baby is coming. So just try to relax and try to breathe in and out. And later on, she came over like an hour later, and she checked me. So she put a finger down there and she checked me, and then she said, like, now I have good news and bad news. The good news is that yes, the baby is coming today, but the bad news is that up to this moment, that is already 3 hours later of contractions, up to this moment you're only 1 centimeter dilated. So that means we have to wait until you get to 10 centimeters. So she was like, yeah, maybe you will get to 10 centimeters really fast, or maybe it will take a while. yeah, so then she left because she couldn't do so much for me, and I was so much in pain, you guys. I was so much in pain. And now at this moment, the contractions were sometimes even longer than a minute, and the breaks were even shorter than 3 minutes. Like, so fast forward, later on I had so much pain, and she already had advised, if you get so much pain, like sometimes it helps to go like sit under the shower, you know, just go and sit in the shower and let the hot water, the warm water just flow on you. Sometimes it helps with calming you down. And at this time I was still waiting for my water to break, so there was no sign of my water breaking or whatever. So I went under the shower. My husband helped me, and he got me under the shower, put the warm water just to flow on me, and it was actually calming. So when I was sitting under the shower, I just felt like, oh, something breaking. I didn't know, you know, when people say, oh, my water broke, or when you see in the movies, oh, my water is broken, you just know that the water breaks, but you have never felt the water breaking until you feel it. So it was like, poof. And when the water broke, I was sitting, but the water broke and there was splash. And the splash that I saw was green. And immediately I got so worried. Because I remember when we were at the... I was doing so well, so why am I crying now? Okay. I'm not a crybaby. Yeah, so... Where was I? Oh yeah. And then I called on my husband. My husband had just excused himself. He said he was going to the toilet, so he was not far away. So I was like, hey Erik, wil je even komen? Ik denk dat de baby gepoept heeft. And I was like, hey Erik, can you please come? I think the baby has pooped in the womb. And he was within a short moment, Erik was there, standing there, and he was like trying to he was so worried. He was trying to close his shorts. He was coming from the toilet, and he checked and he said, yeah, I think you're right, I think the baby has pooped. And oh my god, I got so worried. And he was like, okay, we need to call the midwife right now because this is really worrying now. And she was like, if it's really green, then we need to change plans. I will come to you now, and we need to go. We need to get Nemo ready, and we need to go to the hospital. So she was here within 10 minutes, and they helped me into my clothes. And at that time there was a lot of water coming out of my belly. I was dripping water. So she got me into her car. I drove with her, and then Erik followed us with the rest of the staff. So we drove to the hospital, and that was the longest drive ever, because I was in so much pain. When the contractions came, I was like, I was going crazy. And she was explaining to me that when I get to the hospital, she's just gonna drop us, she's not gonna stay, and then another midwife from the hospital is the one that is going to take over, and that midwife is going to help me. So we got there, and immediately the nurse there took over, and she checked me, and you know, all the things, I don't know what they're called, but she put things around my waist which were going to control my heartbeat and to control the heartbeat of the baby, and they were going to check me for like 30 minutes or something. Even if I decided that I wanted to, you know, to get painkillers or whatever, they still needed to check me for 30 minutes without the painkillers to see that the baby is okay and I am also okay. So I was laying on that bed, I remember, and I was like, please help me, this pain is too much, please just give me painkillers, just help me, because I cannot take this pain anymore, blah blah blah. And then the midwife, so there were two women I remember very well, and I even remember their names, Anna Marie and Sana. Those are the two women that helped me with giving birth. So Anna Marie was the one that was there, and she said, now we have to wait for the midwife, and then she's going to check you and all that. So the midwife, then the main midwife, came over and she checked me, and she said, okay, good news is that you are now 8 centimeters. So from the time that my midwife checked me at home at around 9 and 11, I had already gone from 1 centimeter to 8 centimeters. So that went really fast, according to them. For me, it was taking too long and the pain was too much. I just needed, I was like, you know what, just give me some painkillers, because this pain, I cannot take it anymore. Yeah, Sana checked me and she said I was already 8 centimeters, and she was like, there is no point of giving you painkiller right now, because you only have 2 centimeters to go, and I think within 2 hours your baby will be here. So at this time it was already 12 o'clock. So in her mind, she was calculating that by 2 o'clock, Keon should be born. Okay? So I was like, oh my God, 2 hours of pain, 2 hours of pain. No, I cannot. And she was like, Anna Marie was like, yeah, you can do this, Nemo. And so I needed to lay down there just in bed and just let the contractions come and go, And Anna Marie was really a topper. She was really nice, and she helped me through the breathing process. She was helping me, when the pain came, she was like, don't scream, just don't use your voice, just breathe in and out. So I was doing, just in case this helps you, I was breathing in with my nose, and then breathing out with my mouth, and then she was telling me also to do breathe in long, and then let it out 3 times. I don't know if you can understand me, guys. So it was time to push. Yes, I started pushing. I was pushing for some minutes, and the whole time Sana was going with her fingers in there, and she was trying to help me, trying to feel the head of the baby and all that. And I was pushing for a while, and then she was like, there is something that is stopping the baby from coming out. At that time I was already 10 centimeters, but there is something blocking the baby from, also the head of the baby, from going through. So, she said, I think it's better if we wait for 20 minutes longer. She said around 20 minutes longer, that the contractions keep coming, so that the baby keeps pushing, that the baby just keeps pushing by himself. So I stopped pushing, and I just needed to lay down there and just let the contractions come. And at this time, the contractions were very intense, that when the contractions come, there is a point where, when the contractions are almost going away, there is a point where you feel there is so much pressure, the baby is really pushing. And Maria was advising me, when you feel that pressure, the baby is really pushing, don't push yourself, let the baby himself do the pushing. So I was really struggling there. So 20 minutes later, I checked on the clock, and Sana was not yet there, and I was asking Anna Marie, where is Sana? Because she said after 20 minutes, een afspraak is een afspraak. Waar is Sana? Ze moet toch hier komen? And that is 20 minutes. When it was already 20 minutes later, I was like, where is Sana? Because an appointment is an appointment. She says she will be here after 20 minutes. It's 21 minutes later. Where is she? She needs to come here. And Anna Marie was like, I will go get her. But Sana walked in. She was just a minute late, but I was just being dramatic. But yeah, Sana came in, and she said, now it's time to push. Okay, so we're gonna try again. My dear, my dear, I've heard people say that they gave birth and that they pushed, but I never really you will never really imagine, like you don't even have an idea of how it actually feels until you do it yourself. Hey, she asked me, so she was advising me on how to push, and Anna Marie was holding on my neck, and I was holding my legs up like this, and I needed to pull my legs and pull them, you know, and pull them really wide to make space for the baby. And I tried, my dear, I tried. I pushed and pushed, you know, and they advise you need to push, like, you know, like you want to go shit and you have this shit that is not coming out and you're really pushing. That is where you need to push. But at some point when you're pushing, because you're pushing your head also to the front like this, you will find yourself like pushing your head on your neck and all that, and that is not the right way of pushing. You need to push from your, you know, your ass, your anus there, like you're pooping, you're pushing poop. That's how you need to push a baby. In case you didn't know, now you know. So I tried and tried and tried, and the whole time they were like, yeah, you're doing good, just continue. So whenever there was a contraction, I needed to tell them, and they could also see on the computer, they could also see when the contractions were coming. So when the contractions were coming, I was like, yeah, Comty, it's coming. And then they would like, yeah, push, you need to push, yeah, drukke. I remember the voice of Sana saying to me, drukke, yeah, so, drukke, you do just goed, Nemo, drukke. And I pushed. As in, they were motivating me and they were saying everything was okay, but I could see sometimes they would have exchanged looks. Anna Marie and Sana, they would look at each other and you could see like there is some kind of worry in their eyes when they're looking at each other. And I would ask my husband, is everything okay there? Can you see the baby? And at this time they were seeing the head of the baby, because then the head of the baby was coming like, Kenyans' head was coming like this, and they could see like the head of Kenyan, like that part right here is the head of Kenyan, and they could see the hairs. So and then when the contractions were going back, the head of Kenyan would disappear, and then it would go like this. And when the contractions were coming and I was pushing, then they would still see the head of Kenyan. So so it was 20 minutes later, and they were still like motivating me, and they were like, yeah, you're doing good. And I asked my husband my husband was filming sometimes when I was like, hey, when I was reminding him, like, I want to see what is happening. And he made a video, and I could see the head of Keyon when I was pushing, how it was coming and going back. So at some point, Sana, the midwife, called the gynecologist, because the gynecologist was not in the room, and she asked him to check my vitals and the baby's vitals on the computer, and to see if everything was okay, because at this time it was taking too long. I was pushing already for a while, and she had thought that the baby would already be there, and she was like, there is something that is blocking the baby from like going further. The gynecologist checked, and then he said, yeah, everything is okay, just continue. I think it will take some time, but her heartbeat and the baby's heartbeat seem to be okay, and up to now the baby seems to be fine, so just continue. And I had so much water. I had so much water in my belly, because my belly was really huge, that people were asking me if I had twins or even triplets. I think I've mentioned it here somewhere. But my belly was full of water, that the midwife, she was saying like, I have never seen so much water. This is so much water. Every time they needed to clean, to replace the beddings and all that. So yeah. So it was already 35 minutes later that I was still pushing, and she was like, if the baby is not here in like 10-15 minutes, then we need to see how we are going to help you, because this is taking a bit long than it should. So it was, I think, around 45 minutes or something later that I was still trying, and there was no sign of the baby like coming out just like that. And she also said that Keon was lying not in a good way, that a baby should be lying when they want to come out. Apparently his head was turned around in a way that it was making it difficult for him to come out. So that was also really the reason why all this time that I was pushing, he was not really making any progress, only a little part of the head and then going back. So then at this point, she said 10 minutes later it was still the same, and she said, you know what, Nemo, I think we need to help you now. We need to help you. And because at this time I was really getting tired. My legs, they felt like here, my pelvis, and it felt like I was getting even numb, and it was so much pain because I don't know. It was so much. It was just too much pressure. I had almost no energy left, and at this time I was like, yeah, please help me, because I really don't know what to do anymore. So Sana called the gynecologist again. She called the gynecologist and she said, okay, can you come over, because this is not going really fast. I think it is taking too long. Can you come over? So after she talked to the gynecologist, she came over and said to me, hey Nemo, we are now gonna help you, and after that I'm going to ask you to push several times. Like the first time I'm going to ask you to push, and you need to push with all your energy that you still have. And Anna Marie said to me that she was going to help me then push on my belly, because it was really time for the baby to come out. So what Sana did is she cut me down there. At this time she already had given me an injection that made me numb down there, so I wasn't feeling the cut. So she cut me down there this way, I believe, you know. So this is the vagina, this is your anus. So she didn't cut me this way, she cut me sideways. So she didn't go to my anus, she cut me sideways. So my husband was watching everything and sometimes filming, and I still so Sana cut me sideways, and I was numb at this moment I've mentioned, so it was not painful. And because she cut me, she was able to go deeper with her hand, and she turned the baby's head. So she turned Keon's head in a way that he was able to come out. So then she told me, drukken Nemo, nu is de tijd, nu moet je echt gaan drukken. And she said that means you need to push, Nemo. This is now the time that you need to push with all your energy. And then I pushed, and then I felt, oh my god, the feeling is just at this time before I finish, I tell you the feeling. Who is it? Anna Marie was already on my side, on my right side, and she was pushing on my belly. Now she was pushing on my belly, and my husband was on the left side. He was holding on to my head, yeah, and he was helping me with pushing already several times. I forgot to mention that. So he was helping me with pushing, and he was like motivating me. Yeah, but you can it. Drukken. So I felt the pressure from my husband. He was also like, when I was pushing, he was also doing like some kind of push. And in between I was like, oh my god, Eric is pushing too much. I hope he doesn't end up shitting in his pants, because because I could feel just the way he was pushing also, like together with me. He was really so I'm laughing, but oh, I feel like crying just. Okay. Okay, where was I? So Eric was holding my head like this, and he was holding my other leg. He was helping me like open my legs much wider because I couldn't anymore. Like I really needed help at this time. Sana was motivating me, and she already had her finger in there, and she changed the position of Kenyon's head, and I pushed, and I felt just warmth coming out like in one time, and then I heard screaming, a baby screaming, and at that moment the screaming baby was laid into my arms, and he was so warm, and he was slippery, and he was there. And he was okay. And he was screaming just like a baby should. And okay. Oh. So Keo was in my arms, and he was lying on top of me right here, and he was screaming, and he was slimy, and immediately they put covers on him, because then babies really cool down really fast. So when they're born, they need to be covered up really fast, and within seconds, Sana was already putting a Marvin on him because his head needs to be protected immediately, and Keon was screaming, and I was so happy, and I was filled with emotions and adrenaline. I was happy. I don't know, I was just filled with so many emotions at that time, and he was laying in my arms, and I knew my baby is safe, my baby is with me. And it was the most wonderful feeling ever. That I've never felt that like that before. That was just, my heart was filled with so much love and so much joy, and my baby was okay. So yeah, Kane was born, and he was cleaned up, and the first day they say that they don't wash the baby, they just clean up the baby just really good. And after that, I needed to push out the placenta, so give birth to the placenta, they always say. So I needed to push, and pushing out the placenta wasn't even that painful anymore because my son was in my arms. And after that, it came to the time that Sana needed to stitch me up. So they made me numb again down there, because when she started stitching me up, I felt some pain. So I was like, oh. So they put some fedofing. I don't know how you say fedofing. Yeah, so it made me numb again down there, and she stitched me. She just took her time and stitched me really good, and she told me that it would take some time, 2-3 weeks, before I could be comfortable sitting and all that. But that was not, I was like, cut me and stitch me up wherever you want, my son is here, and that is the only thing that matters to me now, and he's okay. And immediately Keon was, when he was lying on me, he was like, he began doing, he wants to suckle. He was already searching for titi. So yeah, we put him on the titi, and my baby was already like busy doing what he likes, getting that chocolate milk from his mama. And yeah, everything was okay. Sana was done, and I was very happy. My husband was very happy, and our baby was there. And Anna Marie and Sana, I will never forget them. They were amazing. I really am grateful for those two women. They were there for me, and they were very nice, and they were just amazing. And And after that, because the baby had pooped, we were supposed to stay in the hospital for like 8 hours. So they said we needed to spend the night. It was possible for Eric also to spend the night with me also. So they, after I showered, they transferred me to another room. It was just a room for me and Eric, a really nice room. Everything was really organized. And after Anne-Marie was done with her shift, and Sana also, so another nurse took over, and she was also very nice. I remember in that hospital, that day and that night, I already saw, I think, 6 or 7 different nurses, because they work in shifts, and so they keep exchanging. So we went into the other room and we got dinner, and whenever I needed help, maybe to go to the toilet, whenever I needed to go to the toilet, I needed to ring a bell, or whenever I needed anything, I needed to ring a bell. So everything was really, really nicely organized, really good organized. So giving birth at the hospital, for me, at the end of it all, I think it is the best. But I will make a video about that, so I will tell you guys what, like, the advantages of giving birth at the hospital and the disadvantages, and also like I will do a comparison between giving birth at home or giving birth at the hospital. So please stay tuned for that video. You know what you have to do: subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn that notification bell on so that you will be immediately alerted whenever I post a video. So the story is not yet over. Oh my god, this is going to be a very long story. So when was that? So because giving birth to Keyon took a very long time, I pushed for 55 minutes. Water was already finished in the womb. So Keyon ended up drinking my blood. So he ended up drinking some blood. And when babies drink blood, when they're being born, it makes them really sick. So you will see the little baby doing something like feeling like nausea. They will be nauseated because they will be like, the blood is choking them the whole time. Babies worden misselijk van. And then they will be puking out blood. So that is what was happening with Keyon the whole evening. The whole night, Keyon was really getting nauseated, and he would choke. It would be choking almost on the blood, and then he would spit it out. So at around 5 o'clock, the nurse that was there, she felt really bad for him, and she was like, let me see if the children doctor is still here. So I think that she can help Keyon. So the children doctor came over, and she came with a syringe and some little really tiny pipe, like really thin, and she put the pipe through Keyon's nose into his belly, and then with the syringe she was able to suck out the blood that was still in his in his belly. So she sucked it out, and then put in water, just fresh water. She put in fresh water through the same syringe to go into his belly, that he has something in his belly, because it was full of the blood. So the blood was taken out, and after that Keyon was able to rest, because the whole night my baby was really sick and he was throwing up. He was not feeling very well, so he was not even able to sleep. When he wanted to sleep, he would, and then he would throw up. It was not very nice to see. It was really, really worrying. But but after that he was able to rest, and it was the next morning, that is now Monday morning, and they took really good care of us. We had breakfast there, and after breakfast we left. We were told we could leave if we wanted, so we left the hospital and we came home with my baby boy. My sweet Keyon came home with us, and we were both okay. I was really in bad shape because I had so much pain. My whole body was hurting. I could not sit because of my wound, and I already was, because of the pushing, because pushing really is a lot of work. So my whole body was just broken. I felt really broken, and but yeah, we came home. And now Keon is, today is Friday, and on Sunday Keon will be 4 weeks old. So yeah, it was an experience that will never be forgotten. We will never forget it. And my husband filmed some of it, not all of it, but he did a good job. And now and then I just go back and watch everything, see all the blood, see the placenta, which looks really really bad. But yeah, that thing holds our babies, you know. The baby is warm and safe in there. So yeah, so that was my story, guys. That was my story. Remember, everybody has their own story, so don't let anybody's story scare you, or don't let anybody's story think, oh my god, now maybe mine will be the same. No, yours will be very different. Everybody has their own story. Okay, let me see. And the fact is that giving birth can take two sides. So it can be like, for some people it just goes like finish. They just like, oh, I have pain, 30 minutes later they pushed and it's finished. For some people it can just take time. And you know, when you have your baby in your arms and you're going home and everything is okay, and every day you're waking up and you're healthy, you know, you're just like, okay, for me, I just say thank God. I say thank God, because I believe that if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here telling this story and, you know, smiling at the end of the story, because God has been merciful to me. God has always been there for me. He has always shown me how wonderful He is. So for me, it was really, really God that took us through all that, you know, and I'm really grateful for that. And of course, I also thank the doctors, because they really took us through it all, and they were really inspiring and motivating, and they did a good job. So yeah, Sana and Anna Marie. And also this cute husband of mine, he also did a really wonderful job through it all, and he's also amazing. And you know what, if you would like to share your story with me also in the comment section below, I would really appreciate that. You know, just write something. It doesn't need to be the whole story. I know stories can be long, so yeah, I will really appreciate to hear something from you guys. So leave a comment below, and stay tuned for more videos. Share this video to motivate and inspire other people also. So share this video, please. Would you do that? Like this video, and again, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.